Everybody, thanks for joining us on TikTok Live and Twitch, wherever it is that you're watching. My name is Ross Cowman. I am the owner of Heart of the Deernicorn and one of the designers of Bad Baby Lich Lords. So I'm here today to show you where we're at in development and answer any questions that you might have. And we're just going to, and I'm also here with Emmy. Would you like to say hi, Emmy?
Hello, everybody.
So Emmy is Emmy's a marketing associate for Deernicorn, and is also going to be reading your comments on if you have anything to say or any questions you want to ask, and I will do my best to answer them. So so the first thing I want to tell you, so if you haven't seen it before, this game is Bad Baby Lich Lords, and it's kind of a first for Deernicorn in a few ways. We've probably spent as much time working on this game as anything we've ever made in the past. We actually started on it before the pandemic. Taylor Dow, who is an illustrator that also worked on BFF, Best Friends Forever, worked on Fall of Magic, came to me with this idea for a game, which was they really wanted a game where it was interesting, kind of like Magic the Gathering, except you were trying to have your characters die on purpose. That was kind of like the main premise. The other thing they were really excited about was this idea of having cards where each card had a skeleton version of a creature on one side, and then you flip the card over, and the creature comes to life. And let's see, maybe we could shift to one of the close-up cameras so I can show people some of this artwork. I might hit the autofocus. So you can see here. What you're I can manually focus it too. It's in the software control. I'm not sure. We haven't used these cameras up super close before. Let's try the overhead camera. Maybe that one will focus a little better. Oh, I put the microphone in its way. That's my fault. My bad. You know, we're just we got our little baby studio here. We're just learning how to do everything. Oh yeah, this is great. Look at that. So you can see here we have the centipede, and then you flip it over and the card comes to life. Isn't that beautiful? And then over here, the level 3 beetle. And the worms. So the game is just full. There's over 300 illustrations of these gorgeous cards that Taylor has created. So we worked on it for a long time. It was about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years. I think there's like 150 different iterations of the game that we created. And we're like on version 157, something like that right now. Of course, we put it on Kickstarter, and it did quite well over there, and we've just kind of been in the process of refining it and working through some of the manufacturing things. So one of the things that's taken a long time is actually these trays. So this tray is actually a really important aspect of the game. And the game comes with 4 of them. We have kind of 4 different realms, and there's one tray for each realm. And the issue with the trays, so they had to do a couple things. One is, since this is a game where it's important what you have, since in this game we have, it's important that this stack of upside down cards stays in one place, because if you just kind of have a stack of cards on the table, it's really easy to kind of like move it over a little bit with your hand, and now you can kind of get information about what's underneath that top card. So the tray allows everything to kind of stay nice and tidy. And then, so we've got these are called, this is called the bone pile. So these are all of the skeletons fit there. And then over here you have the realm cards. This is a prototype card. The actual size of these cards is going to be this size, so it will actually like kind of fit in the tray really nicely. And this is the side with the illustrations on them. So we wanted, for me, it's really important to have to be able to deploy a game very quickly. You know, if you're getting together with your friends and you want to play something, you know, that game that's going to take a half hour to set up or an hour to set up is a lot less likely, for me anyway, to bring to the table than something that's just ready to play. So our goal in all this and in this tray design was to create something that was going to really be kind of like place making. So you can kind of see here, it's like really clear, you know, where each of these spaces are, because these trays are occupying this space. When you are putting the game away, you can just stack these trays. Whoop. And this tray. And then you put this lid on top, and it all just goes right in the box. Boom. And now it's ready for you to bring out next time you want to play. So we went through a lot of iterations with the trays. This is the finished one, what it's going to work with. And there's so many different little variables, like the weight of the plastic actually kind of matters a lot. So as you can see, on some of these earlier trays that we used a thinner plastic. And the problem with the thin plastic is that the trays get kind of stuck together because they slide over each other. And that can cause you to actually damage the trays a little bit while you're opening them up. This was kind of the last version that we tried and rejected. This one ended up just being kind of like a little bit too big and bulky. And this is with this version, the plastic is kind of it's about twice as thick as that other plastic, and it's quite sturdy. And I think overall, just when we were making the game, we wanted to make something that just kind of felt very, you know, toy-like overall. So that was one thing that we kind of encountered. The other thing that we iterated on was the actual like box size itself. As you can see, this isn't our final size of box. We're actually getting the issue with this size of box is that, as you can see, while all the trays are in very nice and snug, it's a little bit difficult to take them out. You actually kind of have to flip the box upside down in order to do that. And you can do that. It's not a huge deal, but I think it would be nice to be able to actually reach in and lift them out. So what we did was we made another version of this box, which is slightly longer. And then it's long enough so that the spell cards, so the game kind of has this deck of spell cards, which will sit to the side, and then the trays will fit next to that. And then so if you take the spell cards out, now you have enough room to get your hand underneath and lift the trays out. So yeah, a lot goes into thinking about, you know, like design solutions. You know, this is called like a storage solution. You know, the whole idea that there's kind of like a best way to store all of your components. And I really love when game companies taking a lot of time to think about that storage solution, to think about how people are actually going to be using the game. And I think we've done a really good job. I'm really excited about that. The last thing we wanted to be able to allow for was these playmats. So these playmats are they're screen printed in our shop, and you can play with either 2 of them for a 2-player game or 4 of them for a 4-player game. And we've got kind of 2 different colors. There's sort of this kind of sparkly white, and then we have this sort of sparkly kind of copper color. And the finished ones have like a little ribbon that you can use to roll them up. But we wanted to make sure that, you know, if somebody decided to go all in and like get the game and then get the playmats, we wanted to make sure that they were going to fit in the box as well. So what's kind of nice about this current solution is that you actually can take 4 of these playmats. If you could imagine, I rolled these other 2 ones up as well. Oh, essentially, is the overhead camera frozen? Yeah. Huh, I wonder how that happened. Oh, someone was calling me. That's funny. So the overhead camera is a telephone, and we just learned today that when someone calls you, it will freeze. So you can see these playmats actually fit quite nicely in the well on the bottom of the tray. So you only end up getting just a little bit of extra lift when you put those four playmats in the bottom. And so if you have all 4 of the playmats, you know, this will it'll still close. It's just there'll just be like a little bit of an extra gap there at the bottom, but you'll get to keep everything together. So feel free to, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask, and Emmy will alert me. You can just like give me the nod or something like that. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. Let's see, I had a couple other things to share. Let's see. So, this is the other change that we made. This is kind of new. So, the other consideration was for the tray, this little top lid right here, and it's important to have the lid because it sits on top of the 4 trays and helps to keep everything in place when you're shaking it around. Keep in mind, again, these are not the final size of the Realm cards. I promise they will actually fit. They're that size. But the game you don't want the game to shift around too much and for these cards to kind of like jump out and end up everywhere. So we have this top lid, and then it sort of came to me the other day that this is actually a really nice place for the discards. So when you're playing your game, you've got everything set out and deployed. And again, this is the thinner plastic, so these trays are like a little bit harder to take apart than the finished ones. So, you're setting up your game. And then the tray can just kind of sit off to the side and be a place to store the discards. As you play the game, when every time you score a realm, all of those cards get removed from play as the Lich King stirs in his slumber. So when you just kind of scoop up all those cards, like you're sort of playing your game, and eventually you get enough into a place where you can score, you take all of those cards and just toss them over there, and this is called the burn pile. And that's kind of nice too, because any game that has like a lot of that has some new terms, like everybody's always calling everybody's always has a different name for their discard pile, or they'll call it the slash pit, or the deck. They'll call it like the library or something. So we tried to, as much as possible, to make the game really approachable, to label things. So there's actually a set of stickers. This is not a sticker. This is just a piece of paper that I glued on. There's a set of stickers that are going to come with the finished game where you can actually kind of label everything to make it obvious. Let's see. So I think those are the main updates. So where we're at currently in production is we've actually just received our first set of physical proofs, and I will go ahead and show those to you next. So let me just pack up this game, stick it to the side here. You can see how quickly it gets put away. So quick and easy. And if you had any questions too, Emmy, you're welcome to ask as well. Okay, so I'm just so I was going to take out the physical proofs. Okay, I guess I could leave those ones out. Oh, this is kind of interesting if you put on the overhead camera. So we took this game to Tokyo Game Market and actually made Japanese versions of all of the cards. So that was fun. It's always fun to see your game translated into another language. So these are, so what I have here is a roll of physical proofs, and these are the actual sheets that this is a sample of what all of the sheets will look like that are going to be turned into the final game. So I'm going to take these out and we can look at them together. Okay, so this first one is the cover, and it's quite shiny. So you can see that really lovely cover by Taylor Dow. And then we've got our faces. Oh, someone trying to call me again? I might just run out of batteries. Yeah, just ran out of batteries. So if you switch to that left camera, you can still see pretty good, I think. Yeah, so you can, it's going to need to be focused. So the way you focus is on the ATEM software control on the Mac. If you just click the button in the lower right, there's like a little autofocus button right there. Yeah, there you go. So it's still quite bright. You might want to bring down the brightness a little bit also in the software control. If you just drag that down a little bit, it'll be a little easier for folks to see. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so you can see, Taylor's really beautiful art. And you can also see this is what the back of the cover looks, and so here's all of us. Interestingly enough, there's a mistake. There's a mistake that we caught, which is one of the reasons why you do proofs. We should have caught this with a digital proof, but we didn't notice it until we saw it physically, which is that if you were to fold this into the bottom box lid, the Heart of the Deernicorn and Pat Kemp's biotemp text would actually be upside down. So you could imagine this is going to be the bottom of a box, and I fold it, and Pat's upside down. So that'd be really embarrassing. So it's one of the many reasons why you do actual proofs of things. I'll just kind of go through the proofs so you can kind of see. So these are instructions, and it's all laid out like so that you can cut it up and you bring it back together, and it'll turn into a phone. But yeah, you could try and raise it too. Maybe that would help. Yeah, it's the I think it's that, and then I think you can just lift. Yeah, there you go. It's got the little little windy thing. Woo! Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we've got all the rules, and they're all kind of separated out. And sometimes they're upside down because these are all cut, and then they're going to be put together as pages. More rules, proofs. And then then we get into the cards. This is kind of the fun part. So this is the card backs that we designed for the realms, and then there's these are little play aids that kind of have all the character, all the information for the different rules for the different character abilities. So when you can have that kind of in front of you. These are all the realm cards, and again the backs of the play aids, and pages and pages of skeletons. So these are quite lovely. And then the fronts of those same skeletons. And these are all the spell card backs and the spell card fronts and the Zard. Okay, cool. So that's mostly what I had to share. We are, so where we're at in production right now is we did one round of physical proofs, and we requested some changes to the box design, as well as fixing a few of those errors that we saw. And we're getting a second round of physical proofs sent to us right now. And I've got fingers crossed, hopefully that will be accepted, and then we're going to move into actual manufacturing. And once we do that, we're about 2 months out from being able to deliver to folks. Thank you so much for joining us for this TikTok Live. I hope you had a good time. And if you feel free, if you have any other questions, feel free to message us on TikTok or Twitch, or we have a Discord channel as well. So you're always welcome to ask questions over there. All right. Well, thanks so much.